Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ecommerce Coffee Break. 2023, a new year, new challenges, new opportunities for online merchants, and a lot of things are going on in the world of e-commerce. Obviously, with the pandemic, a lot of e-commerce companies made a huge profit. Things were going uphill. Now we are on the opposite side. There's economic fears there. We see a recession on the screen. We see a devaluation of money there. So people start saving money and so on and so forth. So we are in for a ride in 2023. And that's what we'll talk about today. So we want to have a little bit of an outlook of what experts think is going to happen this year. And with me, I have Gian Maria Gramondi. He's the co-founder and chief operating officer at ShopCircle, at shopcircle.co, a technology company focused on buying and developing e-commerce apps for merchants, so they're right at the pulse of the time. Jan holds a master's degree in management from the ESCB Business School, a master's degree in international management from the Bayer's Business School. He also graduated cum laude from Luis Guido Cali University with a bachelor's degree in economics and management. He enjoys mentoring early stage startups, collaborating with online incubators, and a startup builder program created by Italy's Startup Geeks. So you already see Jan has a massive background, not only when it comes to e-commerce, but also when it comes to economics. So he's the perfect partner to talk to today. Hi, Jan, how are you today?
Hi, Klaus. Thanks so much. All good. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Jan, 2023 will be a bit of a rocky road, but I think still things are going uphill. Give a bit of an idea where you see the market trends going right now before we dive deeper into topics.
Yeah, sure. I think that we can read on the news everywhere about, a couple of pretty concerning stats and numbers ahead of us, right? Obviously, consumer recession being one of the hot topics, very likely to happen. So clearly 2023 might be a pretty complex year. And obviously, in the same way that these might impact and will impact families, in the same way will also impact, obviously, brands and e-commerce brands. Even more, I would say, our world and our industry for a couple of reasons. The first one, obviously, being that pandemic was an absolutely, I would say, unusual, unexpected time, and clearly, somehow inflated, obviously, by what happened during that time. And obviously, even some of the merchants, I would say, some of the brands, and even some of the operators, tech operators thought that was the new normal. But clearly it was not. Clearly it was not the new normal, because now we are back to similar, growth rate when it goes to e-commerce as the one before pre-pandemic, which again is something that economists then would have absolutely expected, right? So we moved again from the 50%, 60% year over year to a more rational, if I can say, 20, 25% year over year. Still, the future ahead of us is bright, but it will be more, let's say, conservative, and I would say based on actual fundamentals, and which we did not see, obviously, during the pandemic. So I believe this is the new normal. This is what we should expect ahead of us.
Okay. Now, Shopify is on 2.5 million stores right now, and the number is about 20% growth year on year. So there's still more merchants coming on board. That might be brick and mortar stores that are going into e-commerce. That might be small businesses starting up in e-commerce. So there's still a lot of dynamic in the market there. Lots of merchants, when they come in, specifically when they are solopreneurs or brick and mortar going in there, it's a complete new world for them. And I see overwhelm, I see a lack of focus. They are looking for clarity. And you guys at ShopCircle obviously do a lot of things helping merchants with getting in the right direction. So I want to dive in a couple of topics today. One is traffic generation. That's most likely the number one thing on every merchant's list. And there's a lot of things going on. What's your take on what's happening with traffic right now?
Yeah, exactly. So as you correctly pointed out, obviously ShopCircle try to help merchants and to help brands really navigate the very chaotic, I would say, seas of the technologies when it goes to e-commerce, and in particular of Shopify apps, right? As you correctly pointed out, like Shopify, yes, is growing. The ecosystem, the apps ecosystem is also growing massively, I would say. Like now there are more than 9,000 apps in the Shopify ecosystem, and merchants, in particular SMBs, brands, are struggling to understand what are the right apps that they need, the right technology, the right tech stack that they need. And this is exactly the proposition of ShopCircle. Our proposition is really being the go-to choice for merchants, for brands, when it goes to picking up the right technology that they need by providing one suite of tools with one streamlined communication channel, so that merchants don't have to deal with 20 different tech providers, but just with basically one provider like ShopCircle. On the points about traffic, and again, I think I'm linking back to what I mentioned before. As part of, again, a macro environment changing, that also means that traffic is changing. And that means that basically merchants cannot expect, cannot expect to get the same inflow of new customers reaching their website, reaching their D2C stores, as it happened 2-3 years ago. And again, obviously, you know, we faced times, and the past couple of years, it was all about customer acquisition, conversion. How do we get more customers? How do we convert more customers? And again, clearly what we're seeing, and we're seeing, you know, also for our apps, right? We are facing not a decline, but definitely a slowdown in the growth of the new customers approaching our merchants' stores. And that's a fact. And what I believe, and what we are seeing, and what we are recommending more and more to our brands, is really to focus, in particular in this macro environment, to focus on the existing customers that they have. And again, there is this buzzword, I'm sure, Klaus, you heard it from different e-commerce folks that who were part of this program, but like, again, the word is retention. How we can retain the existing customers, why we should retain the existing customers. And we believe that that's exactly the right approach, in particular in this conservative market. That does not mean to abandon, obviously, the new customers. That not mean, you know, disregard all the other ways of attracting customers through paid advertising, etc. But that means basically being more and more focused on marketing retention. And we have some stats, we have some data, and marketing retention on average is between 5 and 25 times cheaper than any other basically marketing strategies. And so that's an important number that merchants, the brands should really focus on, how we can retain our customers. And again, another stats that I want to mention is that, for instance, on average, the recurring clients generate 300% more revenues than new customers. So all these stats really confirm that, again, even more in this market climate, is way better for brands to focus on their existing clients.
Yeah. When it comes to retention, and I'm 100% with you, that's the most important thing you can work right now. Instead of with increasing paid ads, Facebook becomes increasingly expensive. Google becomes, they're all becoming more and more expensive. So focusing on the customers you already had makes perfectly sense. Now, you touched on, there is about 9,000 apps in the store. That's a number, and there's, for every area and vertical within the market, there is a dozen apps, which again creates overwhelm, very, very difficult for a store owner to find the right apps. What do you think are the most crucial apps that a store should have? Because a lot of them, they just throw more and more apps in there, hoping that they help, and usually that backfires. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, and again, let's focus on retention. And I believe that, again, what retention means is also changing for brands before, and for customers ultimately. Before, it was all about, you know, emailing, SMS, and basically engaging on an ongoing basis with the merchants. And still, that's core, and that's part of the strategy, right? And again, there are literally some great apps out there, obviously helping with email marketing campaigns. I'm just naming like Klaviyo, for instance, like the largest one. But now retention goes above and beyond, because what really brands should aim is to have an audience of fans, like having not just, you know, your customers should become your fan base basically, and really be a huge supporter of your brands. And I'm gonna mention two other elements and two other type of technologies, let's say, that could help. The first one, obviously, are subscription apps, and the fact when brands can really build this long-lasting and ongoing relationship with their end customers through subscription. And again, obviously, in particular, there are some industries which I believe are more suitable, for this type of product. I'm thinking, for instance, on the content creator side, for instance, Klaus, I think it's an interesting industry that really benefit from a subscription approach. But again, we can think about, supplements. We can think about, many other type of goods. They should really try to find the right app and the right stack for them to really go in front of the merchants and build this ongoing relationship. And again, even in that space, there are some great partners out there. And then the last important point is really on building this community of excited customers that really buy regularly through, for instance, loyalty programs. And again, here there are different apps. Obviously, at ShopCircle, we are basically operating and supporting Conjure Referral, which is one of our core app, and really allowing brands to build bespoke referral program, allowing to really build this and foster this words of mouth, this community among the merchant, among the customers. And so these are some of the apps which I believe are crucial to really build this type of ongoing, recurring relationship with the customers.
Makes perfect sense. Now, with retention, loyalty programs, all of that, the merchant needs to create a lot of content to get people back to the store. A little bit out of the context, but I just want to get your take on that. What do you think? How does artificial intelligence help creating content for building retention?
It's a very good point. And again, there is a lot, many gurus and definitely experts writing on this topic. My take is that it will have an impact for sure. And I believe the AI, we are reading a lot about, new technologies popping in. They will be fundamental, and they will really help make the merchants, the brands' life easier, more scalable, and ultimately at a decreased cost, which again is definitely something that merchants want to have and are trying and are really struggling to achieve, in this current environment. So I'm a huge believer that in the right way, obviously, but this technology will be a huge help and a huge enabler of retention strategies, retention campaign. That does not mean, obviously, that the human touch will be completely put aside, but definitely it will be a huge enabler and booster when it goes to retention, because obviously what this technology now allow merchants to do is really incredible. And literally they could save lots of money, and the more we will see, the new development and what's going to be, ultimately then the actual pricing of these technologies. But definitely I'm pretty sure that they will make a huge impact, and in the good sense, though. I'm very bullish on this.
Okay. Now with ShopCircle, you also help developers scale their apps. You buy the apps, you really build a sort of scalable business out of new apps. What are apps, or which apps are you looking into right now in the market where you see the most potential?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good point. As you correctly pointed out, Klaus, we basically are operator of these tools, but in most of the cases, we actually start by acquiring these apps from some incredible founders, entrepreneurs, developers, who really were great at doing from 0 to 1, basically getting to product market fit, getting the first 1,000 of customers and building great products. But then, they want some help and some support to really scale to the next phase of growth. And again, here is where ShopCircle comes in by really, acquiring and joining forces with these developers and these founders, which in most of the cases, really, they become part of ShopCircle family, and they become part of, our larger mission and larger vision. In terms of focus and category, we say subcategories that we are looking at specifically at the moment, clearly personalization is a big area and is a big focus for us. And again, personalization have different angles and perspective, right? So for instance, we already pretty committed, let's say, in this space, in this category. We have two great product options apps that for instance obviously are part of this macro category, and we are looking more and more at other apps, in particular on the video space, again personalized videos, shopping videos, and which we believe is a definitely hot space, because again here, and that goes back to the point on the macro environment, what we are seeing is that clearly shoppers are becoming way more and more sophisticated and selective. And so by being sophisticated and selective means that obviously they want to see the right product at the right time. And we want to be able to help brands to do this and to make it happen. And so that's an important category. The second very important category is that we always we keep liking are all the apps in the space of automation. So really those apps that help merchants to automate their core processes. Because again, that goes back to the point, merchants want to save some money, and they want to obviously decrease the number of human processes that they have. And in order to do that, technology can help. And then another area very interesting from our side is really on the pricing. And again, back to the environment, obviously by having shoppers more sophisticated as well as more price sensitive, obviously due to the macro condition, we want to also help merchants understand what's the exact price point as well as a product that they want to basically offer and showcase to the end customer. So these are some of the categories that we really like and that we are looking into.
Okay, so from what I hear from you is that merchants in 2023 should really regroup and focus on the most important things. In the good times, they're just spending money and all over the place, and really focusing on what helps the business the most, what helps the customer the most, and what takes them, even in these difficult times, helps them forward even to grow. Bringing back to your apps, what's the process if somebody approaches you guys at ShopCircle? What's kind of the customer journey there?
You mean, sorry, on the app side, or you mean more on the merchants?
On the merchant side.
On the merchant side, yeah. So we have different type of programs. Obviously, on the merchant side, clearly all our apps are listed in the Shopify App Store, right? So we have, some of the best app in the respective categories where merchants can just Google and find them. Most of the cases, they find it very high in the ranking, which is good for us because we keep operating and try to provide excellent support and excellent service, right? So basically, it's very likely that if you type, again, obviously product option, if you type digital download, if you type order management, you would already find as merchant our apps feature number 1 or number 2, and that's the first element. Then obviously we are running a lot of different content campaign, because again, the idea of ShopCircle is very much to explain to our merchants how they can basically leverage not just the full suite of ShopCircle in order to achieve their ultimately end goal, right? So we have published some great playbooks, for instance, back in the days when it was to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, on how to get ready, and also giving visibility, for instance, to which from our perspective were the right apps. And again, obviously we are not just giving visibility to ShopCircle app. We have absolutely some great tech partners that we work on a day-to-day basis with. So really understand, and suggest what do we think based on looking at more than 80,000 merchants that are trusting our solution and clearly finding some common trends, what they like and what they want, in what's their tech stack, in particular for the best in class. Hence, obviously for us means, try to share this with many other SMBs. And then we are also launching some new programs, more on the consultation side, I would say. So basically merchants reaching out to us and telling us, we would like to have, again, but thanks to the fact that you guys have a multiple product offering, can you run a quick overview and consultation on our tech stack? And what do you think, how we should optimize our tech stack? What apps are we missing? What apps do we have? And in that, it's pretty straightforward, just, going through our website, sending us a quick note, and then we can reach out. And again, because that links to my last point I want to mention, one of the key requests that we are getting the most from merchants at the moment is that how we can optimize our tech stack. I have many apps, in particular of the past 2 years. I kept, spending money and basically expanding my tech stack. And now I find myself with pretty high bills when it goes to my tech stack. How can I optimize that? Do I need all these apps? And this is, by the way, particularly January, February, Q1 is generally the time when already merchants were doing that. Even more right now, they are doing at a even with more care, and here we are. Basically, we are here to try to help you and give our feedback on what we believe is the right tech stack, by again always comparing and benchmarking against thousands of merchants who are trusting our solutions.
Okay, now I think that's a very important service that you provide there, because as you said, a lot of merchants just adding apps and then it's $20 here, $40 there, $100 there, and then at the end of the month the bill comes, and then it's a big shock what actually it really does cost, and it might slow down your store, which again has a negative impact on the user journey, on conversion rates, and so on and so forth. And then having someone from the outside looking into what you're actually running there, I think it's very, very helpful. How exactly do you charge for that? What's the pricing structure to get?
So it depends, obviously. Yeah, it depends, but that's exactly the purpose, right? In particular, when we work on this consultation, we try to offer some package, which means that basically depending on the number of apps and the stack, we can offer some discounts when we support on more than one ShopCircle product. So basically when they install more than one ShopCircle products, because obviously it's also our interest to work with merchants closely and providing more than one solution. So we don't have a fixed price. This is more depends again on the specific needs and the specific cases of each of the merchants. But obviously when we are having this discussion, we can be pretty competitive, because ultimately also our goal is to make sure that merchants are happy with the apps that they have installed, and ultimately they use these apps and they do it in an efficient way without slashing money. What we are also seeing, for instance, that there are some tools that for in particular the more SMBs brands, they were used to work with the largest tools out there, very pricey app, and then they realize, look, well, there is an app which basically does probably 98% of the functionality, but cost me 5 times less. Why not? And again, we're seeing more, and that depends obviously on the type of store, complexity, size, the turnover of the store, etc. But we can definitely be flexible.
Yeah, I think it's a very helpful service, as said, to have someone looking into this. Can people also come to you when they basically have no clue what app they need? So they basically said, I have this problem, and is there an app for that?
Yeah, obviously, yes, because it's very likely that we might have some solution either from our suite, or very likely as well from our tech partners network that can help. So it happens to me pretty often. I even get some LinkedIn messages like like, I have this problem, what should I do? And we are always happy to help. Definitely yes, because that's the purpose that's the mission and vision from the time that we launch ShopCircle, really being able to be the one-stop shop, really being able to support merchants across different needs. And obviously, if we don't have the right solution, we are more than happy to refer what we believe is the right tech partner for these merchants. Okay.
As our coffee break is slowly coming to an end, just to summarize, what's your sort of outlook in one sentence? What's happening in 2023 in the market?
Normalization, I believe. So getting back to the real new normal, which would be spending money and investment when it goes to technology, when it goes to ads, when it goes to any part of the chain, spending money smartly, which I believe is going to be the key point for merchants.
Okay, Gian, where can people find out more about you guys?
Definitely www.shopcircle.co, our website. You can find, contact us, as well as feel free, obviously, to reach out to me, LinkedIn, Gian Maria Gramondi. I'm always open to put you in touch with the right people within our team.
Great. I will put the links in the show notes as always, then you're just one click away. Gian, thanks so much for this chat. I think a lot of golden nuggets in there, and I hope that merchants will have a great 2023. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
hey, Klaus here. Before you go, I would like to invite you to become part of the e-commerce merchant pro community to get actionable advice from other Shopify merchants who already have achieved what you are aiming for. Our community is a safe place to actively grow your online retail business with the support of the most amazing and helpful group of e-commerce entrepreneurs behind you. Running a Shopify business is tough. Don't do it alone. Join us now. You will find the link in the show notes. Also, if you think your online store has conversion or marketing issues and you would like to have a fresh set of eyes on your business, then drop me an email at klaus@klauslauter.com and let me know a little bit about your business. It might be beneficial for you to have me look over your store, offers, emails, and ads and get an unbiased outside perspective and guidance to help you make most of your online business. Thank you as always for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Until next time, and I talk to you soon.